Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. I'm the Tilted Crown Gourmet. I'm hosting an event tomorrow. It's my annual wine party. And one of the dishes that people want me to make over and over again is my Greek smoked chicken wings with the tzatziki sauce. Today, I'm going to show you how I make my tzatziki sauce. It's not a lot of ingredients, but it's full of flavor. So if you're ready, let's roll up those sleeves, let's get some prep done, and let's get cooking. To start, peel your cucumbers. It's a standard cucumber. Next, you want to take the seeds out. The reason you want to take the seeds out is you don't want a wet tzatziki sauce. So we're going to be pulling all those seeds out, and later we're going to be grating the cucumber as well, and we're going to grate it into a cloth that we're going to squeeze. Now the wonderful part about the cucumber juice that you get out of your cucumber once you've squoze it, you can utilize that to make cucumber water for your party, so it doesn't go to waste. Now that you've done that, you've gotten all your seeds out, put that to the side. We're gonna bring over our bowl. Now with our bowl, we're gonna go ahead and grate our cucumber into our clean towel. Now you want to try to get obviously as much as possible, but you also don't want to grate your fingers. So I'm grating the meat of the cucumber. So you're gonna see there's the skin that's kind of left, and that's okay, because with our tzatziki, we want to make sure that everything is nice and smooth. So I said, of course, you don't want it to be watery, but you also don't want it to be lumpy. So when we put our ingredients in, garlic and our cucumber in particular, we are going to grate them, because we don't want big chunks of cucumber or big chunks of garlic in our tzatziki. Now, you need to let me know if there's a dish that you would like for me to make or feature on this channel. For some reason, my beef nilaga soup, it's a Filipino dish that I learned how to make when I lived in the Republic of the Philippines, was a really big hit on the channel. Is that what would you like more Filipino dishes on the channel, or other international dishes that you may like featured on the channel? One of the things that I'm thinking about doing in the near future is a bouillabaisse, and another dish would be cassoulet. I love cassoulet, but of course both of those are French. So you might think, well, what all goes into a tzatziki? Honestly, it really depends, because it's one of those dishes that people tend to make differently. Just like my beef nilaga soup, people tend to make that differently. And it's no different with a tzatziki. With my tzatziki, I like to do garlic, cucumber, which of course is your standard, and parsley also kind of is a standard, but then I also add mint, because I think that definitely brings out that more Mediterranean Greek vibe, and dill, because I think dill really helps to set off a tzatziki sauce. Get all of our cucumber out of our grater. Then we want to give it a squeeze. Now, some people the night before will also put their Greek yogurt into a cheesecloth and allow it to gravity strain. I don't believe that that's necessarily necessary because I have found that the Greek yogurts that I have been buying have a tendency not to be very wet. So my tzatziki sauce the following day, because I always make my tzatziki sauce the night before because I want the flavors to meld through, and I find that my tzatziki sauce is nice and thick the next day. And there you have your cucumber. Next, we want to go ahead and grate in our garlic, and as I always say, you use as much or as little garlic as you'd like. However, you do need garlic. You do need garlic to make this a true tzatziki sauce. You don't have to put as much as I put in, but you do need to have garlic. I really recommend that you grate it in so that way it's nice and fine and you don't have any big chunks of garlic. Like I just dropped that one. Next, we're going to add in our yogurt. And remember, it's Greek yogurt. Salt and pepper. Or in this case, pepper and salt. Going to get me some mint. Parsley has an absolutely wonderful aroma. Now I'm going to go get my dill. Found it. Go ahead and get our dill. Now remember, we want everything to be really fine. And when you're doing some dicing of like your fresh herbs, hold the tip of your knife. So otherwise it'll dance all over the place and you don't want that. You want to have control over your knife. In goes the dill. Parsley. Now I will pick off the leaves of the parsley. However, you definitely can chop the stems as well. And if you get a little stem, that's okay. They're really, really tender. So perfectly okay to have a little stem of the dill. You just, again, want to make, of the parsley. You just remember, you want to make sure that you dice everything nice and fine. So what I do is I kind of bunch it up and then start to cut it. This has such a nice fresh smell to it. I mean, you get that herbaceous, a little bit grassy kind of smell. Now with the mint also, I pick it off because I want basically just the leaves. Now if you want to actually get even more flavor out of your herbs, you can bruise them. You can do this. Smells wonderful. You can bruise them and it'll help to enhance the flavor because you're kind of making them open up a little bit. You're opening those flavors. Now with the mint, I want to say err on the side of modesty when it comes to the mint, because mint can overpower a dish very, very quickly. So it's okay to add a little bit, taste, and then add a little bit more if you feel that it needs it. And some people feel the same way about dill. I really like dill, but I also really like mint. But remember, when you're cooking, it's about balance. That's one thing that I really like about Thai cooking. It's really about balancing sweet and salty and savory and sour. Can't forget about sour. And speaking of sour, here I have my freshly squeezed lemon juice, which I'll be adding to our tzatziki as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a little bit and then we're gonna mix this up. Because these are all the ingredients. that I put into my tzatziki sauce. You just have to make sure that you get everything and mix it up really, really well. And as I said before, when this sits overnight, the flavors just really meld together, and it really helps to bring all of those flavors together. But you'll get a really good idea right away. Now, the one thing, when I was in Thailand, I did make the tzatziki sauce, and for some reason I got a plain Greek yogurt that said that there was nothing added. You know, there was no sugar added, etc. However, it was super, super sweet, and I actually had to throw out the tzatziki and start completely again. I had to go rebuy all the ingredients to make that tzatziki sauce again, because it just was absolutely horrible. It was so sweet, and there was nothing I could do to counter it. I thought, well, maybe if I add some vinegar, maybe that might help. There wasn't enough vinegar in the world that was going to help that sauce. Let's give this a taste. It's really good, but it needs definitely salt, pepper, I believe a little bit more lemon juice, and more dill. Remember what I say, it's always about balance. And also, if you recall, in some of my videos, I explained to you about balance and salt and pepper and herbs and spices. And I tell you that what's right for me may not be right for you, which is why I say I give you suggestions. So when it comes to cooking, I'm giving you suggestions. If I give you instructions on baking, I'm giving you an actual roadmap that you need to actually follow to the letter if you want the dishes to come out how I've designed them. With cooking, you can have just a little bit more license than you can with baking. Baking is a science. Cooking is an art. There you have the fantastic tzatziki sauce. I hope you've enjoyed yet another episode of the Tilted Crown Gourmet. I hope you come back and join me next Friday as I release new content every Friday at 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, no matter where in the world I happen to be. So, having said that, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We're pushing closer to that 1,000 mark, but we're not quite there yet. But with your help, we can get there. Until next week, remember, your kitchen is your passport to the world, allowing you to explore diverse cultures and cuisines right from home as you explore new flavors and techniques. And as always, bon appetit.